Have you ever been told to eat more vegetables because they're always good for you? Well, what if I told you that one common vegetable, one that many seniors eat almost every day, could silently increase your risk of a stroke overnight? I know that sounds hard to believe. After all, vegetables are supposed to be the healthiest foods on earth, right? Doctors say it, dietitians say it, even our parents said it since we were kids. Eat your veggies if you want to stay strong and live long. But as you'll soon discover, not every vegetable behaves the same way in the body, especially after the age of 60. In fact, for older adults, the way our bodies process certain plant compounds changes dramatically. What used to be harmless or even healthy in our 40s can suddenly turn into something dangerous, spiking blood pressure, thickening the blood, and triggering circulation problems that lead to stroke. So today, let's talk about the shocking truth behind this healthy vegetable, and more importantly, how you can protect yourself without giving up the foods you love. Now, before I reveal what this vegetable is, let's start with a quick story. There's a man named George, 72 years old, who considered himself very health conscious. Every morning, he made himself a big green smoothie. It had spinach, celery, banana, and a scoop of protein powder. He was proud of his routine. It kept him regular. It made him feel clean inside, and his doctor always complimented him on his diet. But one morning, George woke up dizzy. His left arm felt heavy, and his speech was slightly slurred. His wife rushed him to the hospital, and it turned out he'd had a mild stroke. Thankfully, he recovered. But when his doctors reviewed his daily habits, they noticed something surprising. His blood tests showed extremely high levels of nitrates and oxalates, two compounds found in excess in certain leafy greens like spinach and beetroot. Now, of course, no one is saying spinach is bad. The problem isn't the vegetable itself, it's how the aging body reacts to it. As we get older, our kidneys, liver, and blood vessels don't handle certain compounds the same way they used to. For example, vegetables like spinach, beetroot, and even Swiss chard are packed with nitrates. In moderation, those nitrates can be converted into nitric oxide, which helps blood vessels relax. That's a good thing. But in high amounts, especially when eaten at night or combined with dehydration, those same nitrates can cause blood pressure swings and alter blood flow so sharply that in sensitive individuals, it increases the risk of clotting or bleeding in the brain. And here's the tricky part. Most people over 60 already have changes in circulation that make them more vulnerable. Arteries stiffen, blood tends to be thicker. The kidneys may not filter toxins as efficiently. So when you add a sudden nitrate surge to that picture, it's like overloading a system that's already struggling to stay balanced. That's why some experts are now warning that certain high nitrate vegetables, when consumed in excess, especially in juices or smoothies late in the day, can spike the risk of nocturnal hypertension or poor nighttime circulation, both of which are linked to stroke. You see, stroke doesn't just happen. It builds quietly. Your blood thickens just a little, your vessels tighten a bit more, and one day that fragile balance tips over. Now, I know what you might be thinking. So should I stop eating vegetables like spinach or beets altogether? Absolutely not. The key isn't elimination, it's understanding moderation and timing. For example, research from the American Heart Association shows that when nitrates are consumed during the day, especially before physical activity, they can actually improve blood flow and oxygen delivery to muscles. But when consumed at night, right before bed, when the body slows down and dehydration often sets in, those same nitrates may create unwanted pressure fluctuations. So, the first thing you can do to protect yourself is simple. Be mindful of timing. If you enjoy your green smoothies or salads, have them earlier in the day, ideally before lunchtime. That gives your body enough time to metabolize the nitrates and clear out any excess before bedtime. The second thing is balance. Instead of relying on the same vegetable every day, like spinach, try rotating your greens. Mix in romaine lettuce, kale, or arugula in smaller portions. Variety helps reduce the concentration of any one compound building up in your body, And third, hydrate properly. Many seniors don't realize how easy it is to get mildly dehydrated, especially in the evening. When your blood volume drops due to dehydration, it becomes thicker, and that's when nitrates and oxalates can do more harm. So, always pair your evening meals with a glass of water, even if you're not thirsty. Let me share another example. Rose, 68, who loved beet juice. She'd heard that beets cleanse the blood and improve circulation. So, she started drinking a glass of beet juice every evening with dinner. After a few weeks, she began noticing headaches and occasional dizziness at night. Her doctor found her blood pressure readings were fluctuating wildly, too high one night, too low the next. When she cut back the beet juice to just twice a week and started drinking it in the morning instead, her symptoms disappeared. Stories like Rose's and George's remind us of something crucial. As our bodies age, healthy doesn't always mean the same thing it did decades ago. Foods interact differently with our changing metabolism, circulation, and organ function. And yet, there's a silver lining. Once you know how to adjust, you can continue enjoying your favorite foods safely. That's what smart aging is all about. Not avoiding life, but learning how to live it better. So, what's the vegetable that's been causing all this trouble? It's spinach, the same leafy green we've all been told is the ultimate superfood. Don't get me wrong, spinach is packed with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, but it's also loaded with oxalates, which, in large amounts, can lead to calcium buildup in the blood vessels and kidneys. When calcium deposits harden the arteries, a condition called vascular calcification, it increases stroke risk significantly. And here's where it gets interesting. People over 60 are more likely to absorb and retain oxalates because kidney filtration slows with age. So that super green smoothie that felt so rejuvenating in your 40s could quietly strain your system in your 70s. But don't worry, you don't have to give up spinach entirely. You just need to prepare and combine it wisely. Cooking spinach instead of eating it raw can reduce oxalate content by up to 80%. Pairing it with calcium-rich foods like cheese or yogurt helps neutralize the oxalates and prevent them from entering your bloodstream. That's how you turn a risky food back into a healthy one. Now that we've uncovered why this innocent-looking vegetable can raise stroke risk overnight, and how timing, hydration, and food combinations make all the difference, let's go a little deeper into the next part: how to safely rebuild your vascular health and support better circulation after 60. Once you start seeing how your body reacts differently to foods after 60, something amazing happens. You begin to understand that health isn't about restriction, it's about rhythm. The rhythm between what you eat, when you eat it, and how your body handles it. So now that you know how spinach and other nitrate-rich vegetables can cause sudden shifts in blood pressure and circulation overnight, let's talk about how to strengthen your blood vessels, improve your circulation naturally, and protect your brain from future strokes, without giving up the foods you love. The first thing to focus on is your vascular flexibility. That's the ability of your blood vessels to expand and contract easily. When we're young, our arteries are soft and elastic. They stretch when the heart pumps and relax when it rests. But after 60, that flexibility slowly disappears. Decades of small insults, like sugar, high salt intake, and even chronic stress, start to stiffen the artery walls. That stiffness means the heart has to work harder to push blood through, raising blood pressure and straining the brain's tiny blood vessels. But here's the good news: this process can be reversed. Studies show that simple daily habits can actually retrain your arteries to become more flexible again. One of the most effective ways is through gentle movement. I'm not talking about heavy workouts or long gym sessions. I mean simple, steady activity that moves your blood consistently. Take George from earlier. After his mild stroke, his doctor recommended he start walking for 15 minutes every morning. Not briskly, just comfortably. Within 3 months, his blood pressure dropped by 10 points, his energy improved, and his circulation markers got better. Why? Because walking stimulates nitric oxide production naturally, and in balance. It helps your body use nitrates efficiently without overwhelming the system like a heavy spinach smoothie might. So, the first natural medicine for your arteries is movement, especially morning movement before breakfast. That's when your blood vessels are most responsive to oxygen and your heart rate adapts best. The second big protector is magnesium, a mineral most people over 60 don't get enough of. Magnesium helps relax blood vessels, reduce calcium buildup, and balance the effects of sodium. It's nature's own blood pressure stabilizer. Foods like pumpkin seeds, almonds, and dark chocolate, yes, dark chocolate, are rich in magnesium. Let me tell you about Rose. Remember her beet juice story? When she reduced her beet intake and started adding a small handful of pumpkin seeds to her breakfast, she noticed her nighttime headaches disappeared. Her doctor later confirmed her magnesium levels had improved and her blood pressure stabilized. Sometimes the simplest tweaks make the biggest difference. Now, let's talk about hydration, because it plays a much bigger role in stroke prevention than most people realize. Many older adults drink less water as they age. Some avoid it because they don't want to wake up at night to use the bathroom. But the problem is, mild dehydration thickens your blood, literally. When your blood becomes more viscous, it moves slower, and that sluggish circulation increases the risk of clots. Here's a simple habit that can change everything. Keep a glass of water by your bedside. Before you even get out of bed in the morning, take a few sips. That's when your body is most dehydrated. Those few gulps can help thin your blood slightly and jumpstart your circulation for the day. It's a tiny change that can have a big impact. Another thing that's often overlooked is how you combine foods. Remember, spinach and other high oxalate vegetables can be made safer when paired with calcium-rich foods. But there's another secret weapon: vitamin C. When you combine greens with a squeeze of lemon or a few slices of orange, vitamin C helps neutralize free radicals and prevent the oxidation of nitrates into harmful compounds. That means you still get the benefits of these vegetables without the same risks. A colorful plate is your friend. Instead of focusing on one superfood, think in colors: green, red, orange, yellow, purple. Each pigment represents a different family of antioxidants that protect your blood vessels in unique ways. For example, the anthocyanins in blueberries and purple cabbage strengthen capillary walls, while lycopene in tomatoes helps reduce plaque buildup in arteries. If you think about it, nature designed this beautifully, a rainbow of foods for a lifetime of protection. But there's one more thing many people don't talk about when it comes to stroke prevention after 60: sleep position and nighttime habits. It might sound odd, but the way you rest can influence how your blood circulates overnight. Lying flat for long periods, especially if you're dehydrated or have untreated sleep apnea, can lead to temporary changes in blood pressure and oxygen levels. That's why doctors often recommend sleeping with your head slightly elevated, even just by a few inches, to improve blood flow to and from the brain. And if you snore heavily or feel unusually tired during the day, it's worth talking to your doctor about sleep apnea testing. Untreated sleep apnea is one of the hidden causes of nighttime strokes in older adults, and it often goes unnoticed. And speaking of nighttime, remember how we talked about not eating high nitrate vegetables before bed? The same applies to heavy meals in general. Eating large portions at night diverts blood flow to digestion, leaving less oxygen for the brain and heart. Try to finish dinner at least 2 to 3 hours before going to sleep. Give your body time to process food while you're still upright and active. Now, I know some of this might sound like a lot to remember, but really, it all comes down to rhythm: morning movement, daytime hydration, balanced meals, evening rest. These small, consistent steps keep your circulation strong and your risk low. And let's not forget about the emotional side of health. Chronic stress, especially the kind that lingers quietly, like worry or loneliness, can raise your blood pressure more than salt ever could. I've met people in their 70s who eat perfectly, but are constantly anxious or sad, and their bodies reflect that tension. That's why emotional well-being is just as important as diet or exercise when it comes to preventing stroke. Laughter, social connection, prayer, music, whatever brings you calm and joy, make it part of your daily routine. Because when your mind relaxes, your blood vessels do too. So, here's what we've learned so far. Some vegetables can trigger hidden circulation risks after 60, but your body also has incredible healing power when you treat it right. With the right rhythm of eating, moving, hydrating, and resting, you can keep your arteries flexible, your brain sharp, and your heart strong. Now that we've uncovered how to stabilize your blood pressure and strengthen your circulation, let's go even deeper into what really happens inside your body when a stroke begins, and how you can recognize and stop the warning signs long before they become an emergency. When it comes to strokes, the most frightening thing is how quietly they build up. They don't start with a loud warning. They start with whispers, small, almost unnoticeable changes that most people ignore. A bit of dizziness when you stand up, a slight weakness in your hand, words that feel slower to come out, maybe even a dull headache that appears at night and fades by morning. Those are not just random signs of aging. They're your body's quiet way of saying, something's not right with your circulation. Let me tell you about Maria, a 69-year-old retired teacher. Every afternoon, she took a short nap after lunch. One day, she noticed her right hand felt tingly, almost like it had fallen asleep. She brushed it off. Maybe she had just laid on it awkwardly. But the next week, it happened again. Then came small moments of confusion. She forgot the names of familiar students she had taught for years. When she finally told her daughter, they went to the hospital. The scans showed that Maria had suffered 2 small, silent strokes, called TIAs, or transient ischemic attacks. They're often described as mini-strokes, but make no mistake, they're warnings that a major one could be on the way. Thankfully, Maria got help in time. She changed her habits, improved her diet, and started monitoring her blood pressure twice a day. Today, she feels better than ever, and she says those moments taught her to never ignore what her body tries to tell her. Listening to your body is one of the most powerful tools you have after 60. Even subtle signs, cold hands or feet, frequent headaches, vision that sometimes blurs, or waking up dizzy, can be early clues of poor circulation or blood pressure imbalance. And if you notice those things, don't panic. See them as reminders to slow down and care for yourself more intentionally. One of the simplest ways to restore balance is through breathing. Yes, something as basic as breathing can help protect you from stroke. When you take deep, slow breaths, you increase oxygen flow to your brain and help your blood vessels relax. Try this. Place one hand on your chest and one on your belly. Breathe in through your nose for a count of 4, hold for 2 seconds, and exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6. Do this for just 1 minute, 2 or 3 times a day. You'll be amazed how quickly it calms your mind and lowers your blood pressure naturally. Now, let's talk about food again, because the foods that protect you are often the same ones that heal. You've already learned to moderate spinach and beet intake, but you can also add circulation-friendly foods that work like natural protectors for your arteries. Garlic, for example, has been shown to thin the blood slightly and prevent platelets from sticking together. That's one reason why people in Mediterranean countries, where garlic and olive oil are staples, have lower stroke rates. Just 1 clove a day, chopped or crushed and added to your meals, can help. Then there's turmeric, the golden spice used in many Indian dishes. It contains curcumin, a compound that reduces inflammation and helps prevent plaque buildup in arteries. A warm cup of turmeric tea before bed can help your body repair itself overnight, the safe way. And let's not forget the power of omega-3 fats, found in salmon, sardines, and flax seeds. These healthy fats keep your blood flowing smoothly and reduce the kind of inflammation that leads to clots. But perhaps the most underrated protector of all is good sleep. When you sleep deeply, your body resets its blood pressure, clears waste from the brain, and repairs damaged cells. Missing out on deep rest, especially for years, can double your risk of stroke. That's why creating a calm nighttime environment is essential. Dim lights, no screens, and a cool room. If you can, try listening to calming sounds or soft instrumental music before bed. Your brain needs that peace to heal. There's another truth that many seniors don't realize. The brain and the heart talk to each other constantly. Every heartbeat sends a signal to your brain, and every thought sends a signal back to your heart. When you're anxious or angry, your heart rate changes instantly, your vessels tighten, and your blood pressure rises. But when you feel calm, grateful, or even just quietly content, your body enters what scientists call coherence. That's when your heart and brain work in perfect harmony. Blood flows freely, your breathing slows, and your body heals. This is why gratitude is more than just a nice idea. It's medicine. Every day, take a moment to think about one thing that makes your life meaningful. Maybe it's your grandchildren, your faith, your garden, or simply waking up to another sunrise. That small shift in focus helps your body produce hormones that protect your heart and brain. And I know life after 60 can come with its share of worries, health changes, loss, uncertainty. But here's what I've learned from so many wise people your age. Peace isn't about having no problems. It's about knowing you have the power to face them calmly. When you breathe deeply, eat mindfully, and move gently, you're already fighting back against the very causes of stroke, stress, stiffness, and stagnation. If you ever feel discouraged or think it's too late to improve your health, please remember this. The human body has an incredible ability to heal at any age. Your arteries can become more flexible, your blood pressure can stabilize, your brain can regain clarity. Every day you make a better choice, your body responds. So here's your gentle challenge. Tomorrow morning, before you reach for your coffee or breakfast, step outside for 5 minutes. Feel the air on your face. Take 5 deep breaths. Move your shoulders. Drink a glass of water. And then eat something that nourishes you. Maybe a boiled egg, a slice of avocado, or oatmeal with a sprinkle of cinnamon. Those small, loving actions tell your body, I'm taking care of you. Over time, that message transforms your health. You see, avoiding stroke isn't about fear. It's about awareness. It's about knowing what to eat, when to rest, how to move, and when to listen. And once you understand your body's rhythm, life after 60 doesn't have to feel like decline. It can feel like awakening. So, if you've learned something valuable today, share it with someone you love. It could save their life. Maybe they've been eating the same healthy vegetable without realizing it's too much for them. Or maybe they've ignored the signs their body has been whispering. One simple conversation could change everything. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps our message reach more people like you. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss the next story that could protect your health or inspire you to live better. Remember, you're not just aging, you're evolving. Every lesson, every habit, every moment of care adds up. Keep listening to your body. Keep learning. Keep living with purpose. Because every heartbeat, at any age, is another chance to start fresh. Here's to strong hearts, clear minds, and peaceful nights. Today, tomorrow, and always. If you've made it this far, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Rate this video from 1 to 10 in the comments and let us know what you think of the content. Your feedback is essential for us to keep bringing you useful and relevant information. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.